Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione Round 3 of Taco Tuesday Season 12 takes us down under to Mount Panorama, Bathurst, Australia. Tom Cairns in the commentary position. You are watching the Pro Class events. We're into the last 15 minutes of the practice session before we are underway for qualifying. That is a quarter of an hour long. Following that, it's a 90-minute race. Looking back on the events in Indianapolis 7 days ago, there was no sign of stopping the South African Jared Vermeulen, making it 2 wins out of 2 ahead of Alex Morgan and Ben Milden, who completed the podium finishes. Conor Byers brought his Aston Martin home in 4th position, ahead of Nathan Booth and Jeffrey Godefroy. Matthias Skov was P7 in front of Craig Law, Alberto Aragoneses and Luke Prentice. Only 2 rounds have been completed, and with Vermeulen achieving maximum points, he is the one to beat in this championship. Bearing in mind all the drivers would drop their worst scores at the end of the season. A look at Mount Panorama, a notorious one for the drivers. Mount Panorama is one of those tracks that has seen rather little change in terms of its circuit configuration, given its unusual design. It first opened in 1938 and is widely known for its annual host of the Bathurst 1000, an event that has been staged since 1963. There is a lot of elevation change, most notably up through Quarry, and down through the Dipper. There are a total of 23 corners, 14 to the left and 9 to the right. It has its long straights of Comrod and Mountain, so we should expect to see plenty of overtaking during the course of 90 minutes, of which we will be contesting tonight. Who will prevail on the up and downhill climb of one of the world's most daunting of circuits? So we're into the last just over 10 minutes of this practice session. Alex Morgan setting the pace so far, narrowly ahead of Jared Vermeulen. Alex Morgan, who finished on the podium in Indianapolis by finishing 2nd. He was also on the front row at the season opener in Kyalami. Looking to continue that form here in Mount Panorama. Anything can happen. I will remind you it's a 90-minute special. There's no mandatory pit stops involved. Drivers can choose whatever they want to do, but given it's Mount Panorama, drivers are bound to make mistakes. We saw it last season where so many drivers, even the best, got it all wrong and the races were ruined as a consequence. Mauro Arsenio was the Pro Class winner on this track last season, and he'll be hoping to repeat just that this evening. If you have joined us, we do welcome you. Feel free to get involved in the conversation if you have joined us. I'll answer your questions in due course. Feel free to let me know on how the sound levels are at your end. It is something I've been trying to tackle for the last couple of weeks. We've got 29 drivers in the server. Hopefully a few more will arrive before we are underway for qualifying. So far, Alex Morgan still setting the pose. Is able to improve on what he did last time. He's now on a 2 minutes 2.2. There is Demian van der Waal, who tends to go well on this circuit, as he has done in the past. He's in 3rd place right now, albeit 9/10 off the fastest time. Nico Busov, last season's champion, in 4th position in the 333 Ferrari. It's Juho Mäkinen, Peter Van Lyshow, who qualified brilliantly last week in the top 3, but suffered problems during the race, which sent him all the way down to last position, last of the finishers. Morgan Grace, Alberto Aragonesa had a better time of it in Indianapolis than he did so in Kyalami, is 8th, Craig Law 9th, and Connor Wires. Both of those 2 seconds off the pace. We've got some work to do for R2, and a chance of a good position. Track temperature 39 degrees at the moment, air temperature 35. And from what I've seen some time ago, in terms of what the weather is going to be for the race, rumours going about it being a wet race, which is going to make it even more challenging for the drivers. As I already mentioned, Panorama, one of the most notorious circuits in the world. I'm sure it'll be even more notorious should the rain arrive on track. There is Mäkinen in 6th place. He found himself in the wars a little bit in Indianapolis, hence why he was outside the top 10 by the end of the race. To make up for it here, goes over the line to complete another lap. 15 minutes of qualifying. It's not going to be very long for these drivers. It's a lap of over 2 minutes it will be if it's in wet conditions. Obviously it will be even longer than that. Whilst we are waiting for qualifying underway, feel free to check out in the YouTube description of all the events of which the Formula Racing League has to offer. There is the Team Sprint Cup, for those of you who are into PC. There's a Rookies and Masters Series, along with the Late Night Party, along with some monthly endurance races. For those who are on PlayStation, on ACC, there is the Taco Tuesday event, which you are currently watching. There's the late night stuff that's happened on Thursday, the Sprint Series on Sunday, endurance races on a monthly basis, and every other week are some sprint endurance rounds. For those who are into F1 23, they tend to run a tier system. They are currently in the off season at the moment, but they'll be back within the next few weeks, I'm sure of it. Let me know what you've been up to during the weekend as well. Formula 1 season is not too far away. First race being in Bahrain again for the 4th year in a row. First race getting underway on Saturday the 2nd of March. Those are more into the sports car racing. The 2024 World Endurance Championship will be underway on that same weekend as well, as they will be contesting the Qatar 18-12 kilometres at the Lusail circuit, home of the Qatar Grand Prix, which will host its 3rd Formula 1 race on December the 1st this year. It will also host one of the 6 sprints as well. Away from the end of this practice session, drivers doing their best to find the limits of this circuit. It's been around since 1938. Looking at Mauro Arsenio, who is looking to build on his success on this track last season, dominated it, no mistakes all the way through. downhill towards the Conrod Straight. There is the Chase, which is the newest section of the circuit. It was brought in 1987 to slow the cars down. Senio is heading over the line now. We expect him to go up the order here. 14th position, it is his first time of this session. He's got time to go for another one. Going back to the top of the timing pages, Alex Moore is still leading the way by nearly 3/10 over Vermeulen. We've got Dominic Crosby in third place, ahead of Damien van der Waal, it's Jure Makinen, Nico Busov, Jeffrey Godefroy, Peter van Lyshout, Sean Cull and Morgan Gray. Zdenek Volkel just improved as well, for your information. The Season 10 champion going up into 11th position. We've got Nico Busov just going up to third place now in the Ferrari. To improve from there. Jure Vermeulen, who's on a lap now, is coming towards the end of one that he's doing. Heading into Murray's. This lap of his, is it an improvement? It's a slight improvement. Around about half a tenth it is of an improvement. He goes into second position. Using the curb on the exit of Hells. This will be the last lap he can do in this practice session. To Juho Makinen, the 109 Porsche. He had a brilliant debut in Zandvoort at the back end of last season, but drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane curtailed his chances of the race win. Makinen, as Arsenio goes up to 8th. Makinen heading over the line now, runs wide at Murray's, and he actually does improve his time, but not in position. Law was able to go up though into 4th place. Van Lyshout in the pits right now. We've got Zdenek Volkel, who ran wide through McFinery Park, and he's having to park his car up at the S's because he knows he's not going to improve. So back in the pits he goes. Roberto Aragoneses in the number 2 Audi. 10 seconds to go. Get over the line before the clock reaches 0. He's in 15th place. Does he go up the order on this lap? He does not. And he stays where he is. Go to Jure Vermeulen, aiming for a hat-trick of wins. And he goes fastest as Vermeulen right at the end of the session, so he's able to end the practice session on top. Got number 23 of Sergei Krichinkin. The number 23 McLaren. Position he is currently. Aiming to move up the order on this lap. He goes up to 15th. So that's his work done for this session. We've got Farclough Abyssal, who's currently slowest of the lot. He's come into the pits. And we've got drivers on circuit who are trying to improve. Those kind of Byers, who was on pole last week at Indianapolis. Able to move up in the Aston Martin. Behind him we've got Ed Sterling, who's in 20th currently. Over the line comes Byers, and he goes up to 8th, and Sterling over the line, and he goes up into 8th position also. He's able to push Byers down. Got a couple of drivers still on circuit. Got the 666, which is Kyle Revel. Behind him is the number 2 of Alberto Aragoneses. So Kyle goes over the line now. He does not move up the order. Alberto Aragoneses, we don't know for certain. Qualifying is underway now though, and the rain is coming down, and it's going to be a very, very treacherous qualifying session, a very tricky one of that for the drivers on the circuit. It's 12 PM over at the circuit of Mount Panorama, located in Bathurst, New South Wales, Australia. And Morgan wastes no time. He knows he hasn't got a lot of time to dawdle around. It's going to be a lap of over 2 minutes long. He won't have many chances to find the lap he'll want to take pole position for the second round run-in. Looking at the weather, it is expected to get better in the last 5 minutes of this session, I think. So it really could actually come down to the last driver over the line that gets pole here. Because there's so much time you can find over the course of these 23 corners of this 6.2 kilometre circuit of Mount Panorama. Morgan leads, and well, no one's set a time so far. Long way to go, of course. Also, Alberto Aragoneses has ended up in the wall at Griffin Bend. He's having to go back into the pit lane and come back out again. Drivers trying to find some clear track. I think I've noticed a few drivers heading back into the pit lane because they've caught the barrier. Now it's going to be vitally important to get track position, because if someone crashes in front of them, they may have to take evasive action, which will compromise their laps for sure. Here's Morgan then, who's going to cross over the line, and in fact we'll go for a lap with him around this circuit of Mount Panorama. So you're coming towards Hell's Corner. We've come away actually from Alex, unfortunately. Hell's Corner, so the curve on the exit, and going through the mountain straight, which does undulate. You want to be on the left hand side. Right-hander of Griffin Bend is a sweeping right-hander. This is where Aragoneses has caught the barrier. There we go. Towards the cut-in. Quarry Bend was the second corner, my apologies. Griffin's Mount quickly. So through Griffin's Mount, through Reed Park and Solomon Park, it's further up the hill. Now to the next fast left-hander of McClinton Park. And it's through the Esses and the Dipper. How will Alex take this one, given how wet it is? This course takes it very, very well, actually, very nicely done. Absolutely on point, nailing the apexes through here. This is in Forest Elbow. This is the Conrod Straight that he is heading through now. There's no one in front of him at the moment in terms of traffic, so he's perfectly fine. Chase, he comes. Right, almost. Through the last corner of Murray's now. This will be the first time we've put on the board in this qualifying session. 2 minutes 7.4. But don't be at all surprised to see the lap time come down. The track conditions are only damp. Koski goes up into second place for a moment. Johan Vermeulen is not able to displace Morgan on his first time lap. We look at Conor Byers, pole sitter 7 days ago. He's heading towards the last corner now. Law goes up to third place, Ivanov is fourth, Dominic Crosby in fifth place, nearly 2 seconds off Morgan's time. Conor Byers heads over the line, goes up to fourth place ahead of Ivanov. We've got plenty more drivers heading through the end of their first efforts. DeVita going into ninth position is the slowest of all those who have set lap times. Go to the number 34, that is Farquhar Bissell, who ended the practice session slowest out of all the 29 drivers. He doesn't get a valid time on the board on this occasion. Vorkel is in 11th position because we've just had Mauro Senio up into 8th. Luke Prentice has got a time on the board, albeit not a representative one. Number 23 heading over the line as well. Not sure if he actually got a lap on the board, not a valid one anyway. But it's Alex Morgan who's fastest so far with a 2 minutes 7.4, and it looks like he's going for a faster lap than he did so last time. There is a car in front of him which he may have to negotiate, which is Nico Busov. I don't think Busov is on the lap. Morgan is doing his best to improve on what he's already done. Busov stays out of the way. Morgan will head over the line for his second time lap. Will it be an improvement on what he had done before? It is by quite some margin. It's a 2 minutes 6.7. Vermeulen is stuck behind a car in front of him. That's not going to help him one bit. And he's just behind by a couple of hundreds. So Vermeulen in second place right now. Craig Law is heading towards the line. In third place in the Ferrari. Ben Milton is fourth. It's Godefroy and Mackinnon. Now can Craig Law cut down the deficit here? He can. It's just over half a second off in third position. Van Lyshout has got up into fourth place in the Ferrari as well. Ben Milton, who's on the lap right now, about to go through McPhillamry Park. Nearly 4 seconds off the pace. It's 2.8 seconds off the pace now, but he's got a lot of work to do in 16th. Morgan fastest still, Vermeulen second, and then we've got Mackinnon, Law and Van Lyshout. Morgan Grace is in 7th place, and it's Milden who's down to 8th, but he's coming towards the end of the current lap that he's on. 7 minutes to go in this session. Expect the conditions to improve in the remaining minutes. Rain will still come down, the intensity will reduce. Milden over the line, he goes up into 6th position, an improvement of 4 tenths. Vanessa's crossing over the line, and he goes up into 12th position by nearly a whole second with that lap. We've got 5 drivers who've still yet to post lap times. We'll make that 4 because Busov has gone up into 5th place in the Ferrari 333. The reigning champion. Moving up the order, Sean Cole, who's also a champion of Taco Tuesday. He's about to head over the line, and it's a good lap. Goes up into 4th place. But Adam Sharp, who's just leaving the pits, who's yet to get a time on the board. Ed Sterling is the only other driver who's yet to get a time on the board, so he's got some work to do there. Van Lyshout's got up into 6th place. Alex Morgan is just slowing down, so he gets a clean run for the lap he's about to do. pits at the moment. Mäkinen is in 3rd place. He's looking strong at the moment, although Godefroy has got up into the top 3. I think Mäkinen was slowing down in preparation for another run. So Simcox. Ian Simcox in the number 10 Aston Martin. Coming through now with 5 minutes to go to get an improvement of lap time on the board. He does improve and goes up a position. There's one of 3 drivers yet to complete a lap. Or yet to complete a lap time in this qualifying session at the moment. Just seeing if there's any drivers coming through to complete another lap. Well, Ben Milden's coming round, although I think he may be going into the pits actually, thinking of it. Unless he's just parking the car up and then just heading straight into the pits anyway. But he's only got 4.5 minutes left in the session. He'll want to get out there and try and go for one more run. Unless he decides to wait until the best conditions possible for him to go out on for his last run. And there is Alex Morgan, who is on a flying lap. Down, Conrod straight. Alex Morgan is being pushed down now by Sean Cole, who goes to the top in the Bentley. So that's going to give Morgan and Vermeulen some work to do in the remaining minutes of this session, but that must mean that the conditions are improving, therefore lap times coming down. Morgan heading through now, through Murray's. This lap time of his puts him back to the top with 2 minutes 6.5. Vermeulen not too far behind, heading over the line also. Doesn't improve. Remains in P3. Mäkinen heading through, and he goes up to 5th ahead of Jeffrey Godefroy. And we've got Craig Law next. He's heading through. We've got Nice Show, who's not over the line, he's further around the circuit. Morgan Grace is 9th. Ben Milden looking to improve. Podium finisher in Indianapolis last week. Got Vogel, who's 3 seconds off the pace in the McLaren. He's heading over the line now, and he does not improve. Dominic Crosby, who's in 19th currently, does not go up the order himself. Arsenio in the 11 Porsche doesn't improve either. We're into the last 2 minutes of this qualifying session. Milden starts his final run. He needs to improve on 11th at the moment. 100 heading towards the line now. That's Peter Van Nyshout, the Ferrari, and he does not improve. 43 next, which is Luke Prentice, and he goes up into 6th position, does Luke. That's a great lap time that he has done there to put his Porsche up. Demon Ivanov, number 87 Mercedes AMG, goes up to 12th place. We want to have a look to see where Alex Morgan is. There he is. I'm not sure if he's on an improvement, doesn't look like he is. I think he's preparing for his last run. Sean Cole looks like he's on a lap though. He'll get one more go at it at the end of this, unless he decides to back out of it. So, Sean is preparing for his last one. He's slowed down, I think. But Alex Morgan has gone to the top. He's on top of the timing pages with a 2 minute 6.5. Cole looking to take it back. By Jared Van Meulen. What's he doing? Well, he's just started his last run now. Boosts off his fifth ahead of Crosby and Mackinnon. Byers heading over the lines in P11 at the present moment. 5 seconds to go now before the checker flag. And we've got the 147's just gone through to start one last run. So we're into the last laps of this qualifying session. Boost off his fifth. Prentice is in 10th place. That is where they'll end up unless others improve. Number 17 of Nathan Booth go over the line, and he's 8th. Number 43 of Luke Prentice. Oh, sorry, I was looking at Jack Prentice. Sorry, I've got the Lucas in there as well. But Luke is about to complete his lap. Does he go up the order? He goes fastest, does Luke. Brilliant lap time. 2 minutes 6.5, fastest by a couple of hundredths over Alex Morgan. The track conditions are clearly improving, so there's still time for those to move up the order. Farkle for Bissell's going over the line in the McLaren. He's not going to go to pole position. There's no way he's going to find that amount of time, given how his session's gone. Goes up into 24th position. But Alex Morgan is determined to take it back. He knows that Luke is up there, so he needs an improvement if he's going to be on pole again. And I think Jared Van Meulen, I think he's done his qualifying session. He's not going to be on pole. Alex Morgan takes it back from Luke Prentice. It's not over It's not over yet because Sean Cole is on a lap, although he was on a lap. He's come into the pit lane. I don't think anyone else is improving at the moment. Jeffrey Godefroy is on circuit. He'll be the last driver to complete a lap. Keep you updated on the times. Conor Byers goes 6th fastest. Arsenio up to 4th place in the Porsche right at the end. Mikowski now 9th. That's a great effort from him. And Godefroy pushing hard, but only good enough for 14th fastest. At the end of that session then, it's Alex Morgan who is on pole. And Conor Byers, who was on pole the week before, had to contend with 7th fastest, but at least we've got a third different pole sister from 3 races. Alex Morgan up there with Luke Prentice in 2nd place, and we've got Sean Cole and Mario Arsenio lining up next to each other on row 2, ahead of Craig Law and Jared Van Meulen, who's got some work to do from 6th place. Conor Byers and Damon van der Waal are on row 4, ahead of Cameron Mikowski and Niku Busov, who round out the top 10. Dominic Crosby and Juho Mackinnon are 11th and 12th, followed by Nathan Booth and Jeffrey Godefroy, who complete row 7. Ben Milden, podium finisher last week, will start 15th in the Porsche, ahead of Jack Prentice in the Bentley. Peter Van Lyshow is 17th fastest alongside Morgan Grace on the 9th row, ahead of Dimon Ivanov and Adam Sharp, who round out the top 20. Alberto Aragoneses and Kyle Revel are next, ahead of Zdeněk Vogel and Flopper Vizsel. Arkadiusz Mihalka, Sergei Krichenkin, Ian Simcox, Dario De Vita and Ed Sterling round off the grid. Well, we're around about 5 minutes away from the start of the formation lap, so I'm going to get a quick drink and I'll be back in the commentary position by then. Formation up is beginning now with Alex Morgan on pole position. And he'll be hoping to convert that into the victory. We are seeing that Kyle Revel, who would be starting 22nd place on the grid, has elected to start from the pit lane. Can't really blame him on this one. How wet the conditions are, how challenging the circuit is anyway. So a rundown on the grid for the start of this 90-minute special in Mount Panorama, the third race of Season 12 in the Formula Racing League Taco Tuesday. Alex Morgan on pole position, ahead of Luke Prentice. Alongside them we've got Sean Cole and Mauro Arsenio alongside each other. Craig Law and Jared Vermeulen are next on row 3. Connor Byers and Damien van der Waal on the 4th row, ahead of Kamil Mikowski and Nico Busov. Dominic Crosby 11th, ahead of Euro Makinen. Nathan Booth and Jeffrey Godfrey make up row 7, ahead of Ben Milden and Jack Prentice. Peter Van Lyshow and Morgan Grace make up the 9th row of the grid, ahead of Diman Ivanov and Adam Sharp. Alberto Aragoneses would have Kyle Revel next to him, but it looks like Zdeněk Vogel is going to be alongside instead. Then it's Vogel for Bizzle and Arkadiusz Mahulka on the 12th row, ahead of Sergei Kwichinkin and Ian Simcox. Dario DeVita and Ed Serlin complete the 28 drivers on the grid. Kyle Revel, as I've already mentioned, will be starting from the pit lane. Looking at the strategies, each driver is mandated to do 2 pit stops. They do not need to change tyres, but they will need to add fuel as far as I'm concerned with the regulations. Let me just recap on that particular rule. Because in the 90-minute specials, or the 90-minute special that we had in Kyalami 3 weeks ago, it was a free pit strategy, but I think here, given its notorious nature, tyres and fuel are allowed but not mandatory, so it's up to the drivers how they want to go about it. But I think, to be honest, they will not want to be too heavy on fuel. I think given the abrasive nature of this racetrack, I'd imagine there's going to be quite a few tyre changes, so I doubt anyone will try and go through the race on a single set of tyres. A fuel load that's going to last the whole race. Moment the driver's going to be in their rows of 2 before this race gets underway. It's a 7 race calendar for your information. We've been to Kyalami and Indianapolis. Tonight is Mount Panorama, Bathurst. The final 4 races will be held in Silverstone, Valencia, Imola, and the rescheduled round of Spa that is set to be the host for the season finale on March the 5th. What will Alex Morgan do at the start? Can he get off to a good start? How quickly will it take for Jared Vermeulen to get through the field and get up to the front and make it a hat-trick of victories by the end of this evening's action? Track temperature is 36 degrees at the moment, and air temperature is 33. And looking at the weather radar, we expect the conditions to worsen within the next 10 minutes, so just keep in mind on that. So the drivers are coming into their rows of 2 now. Alex Morgan preparing for the start of this, aiming for a strong start. Luke Prentice should be alongside him. I can't quite see him at the moment, so it could well be that Alex Morgan gets a free run into turn number 1. And we're about to get underway for the start of this. We'll wait for the green flag to be waved. Once it's waved, we'll be underway, and we are underway now here in Mount Panorama. Alex Morgan leads into Hell's Corner, ahead of Arsenio, who's got in front of Sean Cole. So a good start from Arsenio, making the most of the vacant space that was left by Luke Prentice to put his Porsche up into 2nd place behind Morgan. He may even get a run on him as they head towards Quarry Bend. Morgan having to go defensive. He has the inside line, so don't expect Morgan to Arsenio to be alongside. And so Morgan stays in the lead. For your information, Luke Prentice had to start the race from the pit lane, so he's lost so much time, has Luke. But he's on circuit now. But he's got a lot of work to do from here if he is to have any chance of salvaging a strong result. Long way to go yet, of course, and mistakes are bound to happen on this circuit. It seems like everyone has got through there rather unscathed so far. Very, very sensible start from the drivers. The pit window is open. It's open until the 1 minute signal before the end of the race. Morgan leads. Arsenio second. It's Kull in third place. Craig Law, Jeremy Vermeulen is fifth. Had a Damien van der Waal, Conor Byers, Giro Mäkinen, Nico Busov, and Kamil Makowski rounding out the top 10 so far. Morgan doing a good job. Vermeulen keeping his Ferrari out of trouble as we speak. He'll get his chance to move ahead for some of the drivers. No incidents so far. All 29 drivers still going. Vermeulen in fifth place, ahead of van der Waal as they all navigate their way through the chase. Morgan is coming round to complete the first lap in the lead. And it's Arsenio who's in P2 behind him. And Craig Law is in front of Sean Kull now, for your information, into third position. He's had a good start, has Craig. And we've seen a few drivers in the pits already. Ben Milden taking the opportunity to pit in, as is Peter van Nyshow. They want to get one of their team mandatory stops out of the way. Now the danger of that is that if they end up in the wars, they may have to do a second pit stop sooner than expected, or even worse, if they complete their two mandatory pit stops too early and they end up in the wars after, then that'll be another pit stop needing to be made. Given that repair jobs take a bit of time whilst you're in the box, they'll put you totally out of sync to the others. Vermeulen is right behind Sean Kull in the battle for fourth place as they go up the hill towards Solomon Park. We'll go through McFinley Park in a moment. He'll take his time. There's no need to rush at this stage. He's just watching. Kull is having to almost slide his way round through McFinley Park, going through the S's. How long will it be before Vermeulen makes his move? Down the hill they come. Vermeulen is right in his wheel tracks, and a very nice overtake there on the exit of Forest Elbow. And Vermeulen goes up into fourth position in the Ferrari. I think that was bound to happen at some point anyway. But he's through. And we've got Peter van Nyshow, I think, is in the wars at Quarry Bend. How much damage has he done to that car? It doesn't look he's done too much, but he has only just made his first pit stop, and he's lost even more time by spinning around at Quarry's Bend. Back to the front as Alex Morgan comes around to complete the second lap in the race lead. We don't know for certain how much fuel he's got on board in comparison to the others. We hope to find out as the race continues to progress. Arsenio in second place and a Craig Law third. 2 millions, another half seconds off. Craig doing his best to keep in touch with Arsenio ahead. Through Quarry. Get on with this one, Craig, before he gets on his tail. See Arsenio defensive during the course of this lap. Probably will need to at some stage. Or do what Vermeulen did with Sean Kull in the previous lap and complete a slingshot manoeuvre on the exit of Forest Elbow. space before he gets the power to pull off a similar move to what Vermeulen did on call. Go. Still want to get close enough to have a go. Will he do it through here? So yeah, it's the furthest line what he's able to do. Dead. Now losing ground to Morgan, who's continuing to pull out all the stops in the moment. We've got Ed Sterling, who's in the pits for his first stop. He's coming back out now. Watching Law closing in on Arsenio in the battle for P2. Luke Prentice, for your information, is in. Where he is, he's in 21st place. He's ahead of Sergei Krichinkin already. 6 seconds off Dario De Vita. The exit of Hell's Corner. Seen Law close in on Arsenio in the battle for P2. It's one lap 4 of the race. Law behind Arsenio. In the pits in the Porsche. Going through McFlurry Park. Arsenio doing his best to stay ahead, although Law is closing in still. Isn't too far behind either. Vermeulen closing in behind also. Down the Conrad Straight. Drivers making their way through here. Nearly 10 minutes into this one. And so far so good for Alex Morgan. A long way to go yet. A few drivers in the pits in the moment. Simcox is in it, as is Krichinkin. Getting their first mandatory pit stops done out of the way. The danger of that though is having to obey blue flags. Oh, and that's Arsenio almost dropping it, and that allows Law and Vermeulen to go through. So again on the power too early there was the Portuguese. It was a dream ticket for both Law and Vermeulen to get through at the same time. Arsenio down to 4th position. Some other battles with Van der Waal and Busov nose to tail. Battle for P6. There's Morgan on his own, 5 seconds clear over the battling Ferraris of Law and Vermeulen. Behind Law as they head towards the sharp left-hander of Forest Elbow. And we've got a spin involving the 174, and that's Kamil Murkowski, who is almost blocking the track. He reverses into the runoff area and he should be able to rejoin without any drama. I don't know if he's come together with someone, but either way it's not going to help the car one bit. I don't know if he's got damage to the car. It doesn't look like he has. He might have just had a spin. He's lost a ton of places. That's the Aston Martin pilot. It's not on the way at least anyway. third position behind Law. Picking them off one by one. Law heads over the line in second place. Lap 6 now. In terms of how long this race is going to be, we're probably looking around 40 laps maybe. No, probably a bit more than that actually thinking of it. Luke Prentice is in 20th position, he'll go up to 19th actually because Vogel is in the pits. He's first of two. And we've got the 100 going for a spin again. That'll be Peter van Nyshout, who's had an absolute nightmare of a race so far and he's damaged the car. He heads towards McFinery Park. He'll have to make his second stop now. Cannot have any more mistakes from here on in. He's having to go through the runoff area, and there's a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane for the number 23 of Sergei Krachinkin. Morgan will be coming up to lap the Ferrari in a moment. Is Morgan in the race lead as we speak, doing everything right so far. There's Krachinkin, who should stay out of the way. You can see he's got rear wing damage as well as damage to his bonnet. He's closing in on Law. Krachinkin is ahead, so Krachinkin should not interfere with what is going on here, and he nearly took Craig Law out. That was dangerous. That was poor driving from Sergei. And that's allowed Vermeulen and Law to make contact, go through the chase. Vermeulen gets through, but surely he has to give the place up. Because he made contact with Craig Law on his way of getting through that. But Krachinkin, I can imagine, will be under investigation. No, sorry, it's Peter van Nyshout, I should say. It's not Krachinkin, my apologies, I'm looking at the wrong driver. It's Peter van Nyshout, who secured the knowledge he's got a damaged car, but he got in the way of Craig Law and Jared Vermeulen. He's in the pits now, but I can imagine there'll be some words later. So Vermeulen now second ahead of Law, but Law will be aggrieved with Van Nyshout's driving. Senyo fourth, and it's Busov, Van der Waal, Byers, Godefroy, and Kull is into the pits for his first of two stops. Another chance of getting out in some clean air. Krachinkin has a drive-through penalty for your information for speeding in the pit lane. And there is Alex Morgan, continuing on in the race lead. Nearly 8 seconds clear of Jared Vermeulen. How long will it be before he decides to head for the pits? I can't imagine he will need to at this stage. He'll probably want to wait another 15 minutes before he does that. So we're into the sort of heavy rain period, or heavier rain. Within the next half an hour, it should lighten up a bit. He's got a fight behind Byers in the back for P7. Was running towards the front in this event last season. He looked in the walls too many times and he just missed a golden opportunity to get a good result. So looking at the battle between Vermeulen and Law, don't think Vermeulen was quite alongside enough to warrant the overtake. Just bearing in mind, Law was out of shape because he was put off by Van Lyshow ahead, who was running an 8-lane car. It was too ambitious of a manoeuvre for Vermeulen to make a move up the inside in the way he did. We'll leave that for the stewards to have a look at later on. Had someone go for a spin a moment ago. I think that might have been Adam Sharp, who ran wide at turn 1, or he's had a moment through there, but he's back on track now anyway. Vermeulen's closing down the gap on Morgan ahead now though. The gap was 8 seconds at the beginning of the lap. It's now down to 7.4 by this stage of the lap through sector 1. We'll see what the gap is, although Morgan's been through traffic at the moment. So it was 7.4 in sector 1. The gap is now 7.4, so it's still the same as what it was earlier on in the lap. Carl Ruvel's in the pits, for your information. He's just done, I think, his first of 2 stops. He was one of those that started from the pit lane. Nico Busov running in 5th behind Arsenio. I don't know if Arsenio is running a lighter fuel load compared to what Arsenio is doing. Vermeulen has posted a new fastest up of the race. Should he keep hold of that, it will be another championship point coming his way. Right on board with Busov, who is aiming for a good result here today. What he achieved last week in ED. Him. P11 last week, as he didn't compete in the first race in Kyle Army. So far he's doing a fine job. We want to try and battle it out with those in the top 3, but he's having to deal with Arsenio first before he can even think about that. Busov running 5th. Still move on Arsenio. Last season's race winner in the Pro category on this track. It's not quite in range to have a go. Murray's now looking over the line to begin lap number 10. He's getting really good exit out here. Maybe better exit than what Arsenio has. In fact, it's the opposite. Arsenio able to pull away and continuing to do so. Got a fight in 8th position behind Byers. The highest of those who have pitted is Ben Milden, who's running in 15th position. And the car ahead of him is Cameron Makowski, who had that spin earlier on. But Milden, as we've seen time and time before, tends to play the long game. Luke Prentice is coming in for his first of 2 stops, the man who qualified 2nd, but apparently some form of connection issue forced him to start from the pit lane. We've got an off involving the 444. Who is that that's gone for a spin there? It's Sean Cull. Sean Cull has had a moment. Now, has he damaged the car? I don't know what's happened here, but Cull has stopped at the S's, and he doesn't appear to be getting going again. In fact, he's come back into the pits, so that could be his race finished for the Season 9 champion. You can see Alex Morgan, who's 7.6 seconds clear, continuing to push on. Van Lyshout's done his stops, but he had to come in for repairs. Morgan is continuing to push on. Law in third position. Vermeulen in second place, ahead of Law. The gap is over a second between the pair. Both of them in identical machines. It's the South African who is ahead of the man from Northern Ireland. Nikos Busov is in fourth place now, ahead of Arsenio. We didn't see the overtake, but he's through ahead of the Portuguese. Cameron McCoskey's coming to the pits now, so that releases Ben Milden, who's got like another 9.5 seconds to make up, and Jack Prentice ahead. Apologies for that. So the gap between Morgan and Vermeulen is 7.3 seconds. And from what I've been told by Sean Cull, he's saying that his setup never loaded, which is a terrible shame for him. So Vermeulen able to keep hold of second position ahead. Looking at Conor Byers now, who's still got Godefroy right behind him. Godefroy may decide to go for a move at some point. In fact, both of them are ahead of Arsenio. I think Arsenio's made a mistake somewhere, and he's fallen down to P7. To go over the line once again. And Arsenio decides that he's heading for the pit lane. Has he picked up damage during the course of the lap? I'm not sure if he has. I think he's got a few scrapes actually, so that explains why he's pitting now. But Morgan is continuing to keep his car out of the barriers. Vermeulen, no trouble at the moment. I mean, to be fair, looking back on the incident with Vermeulen and Law, it's a bit of 6 and 1.5 dozen for the other. So I think he'll probably keep hold of the position, but it just looked rather clumsy, in all honesty, when I first looked at it. It was a bit of ambitious manoeuvre, so I'd probably say that it's a racing incident on that one. Who's running in fourth place at a bias and Godefroy. Race van der Waal, Crosby and Booth are in the top 10 now. Ben Milden's closing down the gap on Jack Prentice all the time, quite rapidly, so he's making good use of his second set of tyres. He will need to pit again before this race is over, though. He's looking very good for a strong result after a tricky qualifying session for him. Vermeulen's got the gap down to less than 7 seconds between him and Morgan, so he's able to find some time somewhere. I might feel Vermeulen will probably need to get through some back markers to catch up to Morgan, although there is just one in front of him. He's just got by the 226. Simcott's in the pits at the moment. And I think we've lost a driver from this race. Whilst we've been watching it, I think Ed Sterling has gone, so he's out of the race, and so is Sean Cull. This one continuing on though. No such problems so far. Nearly half an hour through this one. And it is a two-stop race for your information, this one. You can see on the orange counters next to the driver's numbers and the gaps that they've got how many stops they need to do. They've done both of their mandatory stops, which is what Peter Van Lyshout and Ian Simcox have done. It'll go green, which means they don't need to make any more pit stops. So what's the gap at the moment? It's probably around about the same as what it was in sector 1. We'll have a look now. 6.9, so Morgan was able to respond to Vermeulen's pace. How long will it be before they start pitting? Lap number 14. Morgan 6.9 clear of Vermeulen. Craig Law over 2 seconds back. Number 100 in the pits again. That will be Peter Van Lyshout. I think that could well be his race done. He's well out of sync with the others. Don't think we'll come back from that now. So being another race to forget for him. He's got a throw. He's behind Byers in the back of the fifth. Quarry. That's right on the exit. Now we are heading through. That's it. It's back uphill. Drivers are taking a tighter line there through Fitzroy Park. This is the distance which they are navigating through now. Heading down the hill. Forest Elbow. Now 7.6 seconds behind Ball, so he's starting to drop back as his tyres are beginning to fall away. So Byers taking a really nice line through, kicking for the chase. Late on the brakes, right there. Makes the time. Spin there for the number 87 further back. That'll be Demon Ivanov is up in the wall and facing the wrong way. And he's damaged the car even more, and there's a heap of traffic about to head through. Now will they get through safely here? Ivanov has gone into the pits. probably the wise thing to do, but that's put off Varglov and Bizzle in his battle with Dario De Vita. Oh, they've made contact, the pair of them now, and Varglov is in the wall, going through the polystyrene blocks. At least he stays out of everyone's way, but for Bizzle will not be very happy with where Ivanov had been parked before he gone into the pits. And he's struggling to get the car back on the circuit, trying to stay out of everyone's way. The handling of that car is in a mess. This won't count as Ivanov's pit stop. He's gone back into the pit lane via the pause menu. So there's another to fall foul of the walls. Morgan in another car. Oh, he's just got through there. I think that's the 666, is it? No, it's Kyle Revel. Yeah, it is the 666. It's Kyle Revel who has made a pit stop in this one. Where is Vizzle? He's still at the chase. He's struggling to get the car turned in. No, he cannot get in the way of other drivers who are coming through, particularly the leaders. Morgan goes through, as does Revel. And we've got the 174 who's gone for a spin now. And that will be Kamil Makovsky. And he's damaged his car. So it's likely he'll need to come back into the pit lane. Where is Vizzle? Is he in the pits yet? Not quite so. So he's into the pits now. Is Vizzle is struggling to get the car into the pit lane though. That's pretty much his race ruined. The gap between Morgan and Vermeulen now though is 8 seconds. I don't know for certain whether the other car got damaged when Vizzle came through. It was Dario De Vita who was coming together. Doesn't look like there is damage on De Vita's car. So it looks to be perfectly okay. Van der Waal and Booth are both into the pits for their first stops, for your information. And look, number 23 also in the pits, that's Grachinkin, so he's been in the wall somewhere, and that could well be his race over. And for Vizzle has only just made it into his box. Is he in the right box though? Doesn't look like he's positioned the car in the right way, but he's gone from bad to worse. We're looking at Alex Morgan, who's in P1 right now. Vermeulen in second. It's Law, Busov, Byers, Godefroy, Grace and Crosby. And Milden is closing on Prentice now in the battle for 9th place as they go up the hill. Milden really coming alive in this one. Highest out of all those who've pitted. Desperate to get in front. He may decide to go for a slingshot manoeuvre on the exit of Forest Elbow. You are right, it was a weird collision, wasn't it? But sometimes, from a driver's point of view, it may look different from their perspective to what we've seen from where I'm sat. Now, can Milton find a way through on Prentice? At least get into the slipstream and pull off a clean manoeuvre here. Very much within range to have a go. To the outside as they head towards the King. Does Prentice know that Milden is there? He is. He runs onto the grass a little bit, but he has to let Milden go. So that's a good move from Milden. Up into 9th place on track. This one ahead of him is Dominic Crosby. Well, ahead of Crosby is Grace, and Grace is another 15 seconds up the road from him. Milden's now 10.5 seconds behind Crosby, so he can use this time to make his move. We've got an accident involving Mario Arsenio, who's spun. last season's winner, has ended up in the barrier somewhere at McFinley Park. And someone else... Oh, Vermeulen's off as well! Vermeulen has gone off at McFinley Park from second place. Vermeulen has gone off. I don't think there's been any damage to his car. But he's lost second place to Craig Law. I don't think Busov is ahead of Vermeulen, so Vermeulen's only lost one place. But Arsenio is going to need to come back into the pit lane. Now, did those two come together, I wonder? That saw both of them in the wars. We don't know for certain. Might have to look back on the track map to find out about that, but Arsenio will need to come back into the pit lane, but needs to be careful because there's cars coming up behind him. That's Prentice coming through. And he'll have to stay out of the way of the leads who are coming through, but Arsenio's race is more or less ruined. Morgan now has a 10-second lead and got another accident towards the back, I think. It involves Adam Sharp, who's had an off, and he's gone back into the pits as well. I think Vermeulen's come into the pits to get his first stop out of the way. He might need to make a bit of repair work. Either way, that's his race compromised. Right behind Byers in front of Fixter. What will be now fourth place? I'm going to see a change in position here. For your information, within the next half an hour, the conditions are going to improve, leaning towards dry conditions. Spice things up as far as this race is concerned. And that's going to play a role in the strategy as well. That will be what Alex Morgan is thinking about. As he goes through sector number 2. He can breathe a little bit easy. Vermeulen's rejoined in 7th place ahead of Crosby. He's not lost too much time. So there is Morgan. Milton's closing on Crosby. 10.5 seconds was the gap the last time we saw between the two. Milton's closed down the gap a little bit. In the next 10 minutes we should expect the rain to reduce its intensity. And Ian's of course has been in the pits for some time, so I think that's his race over. Varvog Bavizl, for your information, has continued, as has Demon Ivanov. Arsenio came back into the pits. He's done both of his stops now, but I can imagine by the time we are going towards dry conditions, he'll need to stop again for dry tyres. There is Morgan, still in the lead. Grace coming in. So that leaves Byers and Godefroy. Vermeulen will go back into 6th place. Milton is now 8th. I don't know if this race is full, because normally we would have about 40 drivers, given the expansion of the server, but and that'll be something that the admins will need to be informed about if you want to join. James Williams is the man in charge of the FRL, as well as the likes of Chris Gedman, Prentice Brothers, and Raven, who sometimes does some commentary involving the FRL, the PC side of things. Who rejoined in 10th position ahead of Euro Makinen. Arsenio is back in the pits again. He's crashed again as the Portuguese, and I wonder if he'll give it up here because he's so far behind. He's not going to be repeating his win from last season. Coming towards the halfway point in this race, you can see Morgan sliding his way through Quarry. Not Quarry, sorry, Griffin's Bend. Godefroy comes into the pits for his first of two stops in the 144 Ferrari, or 147 Ferrari I should say. Down the hill he comes, does Morgan. Not any battles on circuit right now we can inform you of. Aragonessus comes in for the second time, as is Grace, which I'm a little bit surprised about because the conditions are not quite in the dry condition window just yet. Now, within the next 10 minutes, we'll inform you whether the rain will stop for a good while and not return for the rest of the event. Milden now 3.2 behind Crosby. Stop behind the back mark. Is that a back mark in front? That's Sean Cole, who shouldn't be in the way. No, it's Cameron McCoskey, my apologies. He's actually got some damage to his bonnet. Milton is through, chasing Crosby. He's now only 2.4 seconds ahead of him. Conor Byers comes in from 4th place for his first of two stops. And Crosby, I think, is actually coming to the pits. He has done. Milden is released. He's going to go up into 5th place now. Enjoying the conditions, enjoying the handling of his machine quite clearly. Who's already done his first of two stops. He had that spin earlier. Dario De Vita is also coming in. So the drivers we've lost from this race: Ed Sterling, Sean Cole we've lost, as is Peter Van Lyshow. Ian Simcox is also out. We've got 25 still running as we speak. Halfway through the race, Morgan's lead is 12 seconds over Law at the end of lap 21. Zdenek Volkov is right behind Jeffrey Godefroy in the battle for 10th place. behind them is Morosenia, who's a lap down. Busov comes in from 3rd place. Luke Prentice is in for his final stop, which is quite early. Also in. Vermeulen go up into 3rd position now. Milden will go through ahead of Busov, I think, unless Busov gets out in front of him. It's going to be close. Busov just beats him out of the pits, but Milden will be up to speed. Milden will be fancying his chances with Busov, I think, for a podium. Milden's tyres will be up to temperature. Busov's won't be yet. One lap or so for Busov to get up to speed. We've got a spin involving the 433 at Forest Elbow. I want to see what's happened. It's Damien van der Wal who has had a spin. It's not going again safely though. Crosby comes in for the 2nd time. Doesn't look like he's had any damage, so I think this is a planned pit stop. Kowski also in for his last mandatory stop. Needs to do. So we should expect the rain to ease off more and more. It has done in the last 5 minutes. Craig Law is in from 2nd place. So Vermeulen will go back into P2, I should think. We'll have a look to see where Vermeulen is around the circuit. Law should exit his box before Vermeulen comes round. Law has done his stop. He's exited his box now. I think he's going to rejoin in 2nd place at a Vermeulen, is he? No, I don't think he will do. Don't think he will do. So Vermeulen back into P2, ahead of Law, who comes out of the pits. Vermeulen was able to make up the time lost from that spin he had at McPhilbury Park. And the 433 has gone round again. It's Van der Wal who's ended up in the wall, and a car has collided with him at the cut-in. Couldn't quite tell which car that was that came together with it. It was the 87, that was Diman Ivanov, who's already been in the wars today. But Van der Wal's good race has come undone, unfortunately. Now, what does Alex Morgan decide to do? Does he pit in now, or does he pit in a little bit later? His stop, and the 433's gone round again. Van der Wal, he's going to be an obstacle course for the drivers who are coming through, and he's becoming an obstacle for the drivers here, and they're coming through, and he's to be careful. He's collided. That's poor awareness there from Damien van der Wal, and he's pointing the wrong way. And he's colliding with other cars, and this is becoming a nightmare for him. He's got going now, but that'll damage the car, and it might have damaged others as well. Stephen Vogel running in 9th position now, in a more promising race. Done in Kyalami. Indianapolis. Luke Prentice, after starting from the pit lanes in 17th, but he's done both of his stops now. Alex Morgan has yet to make a pit stop. In fact, he's the only driver still running in this one, I think, unless Adam Sharp. No, Adam Sharp and Diman Ivanov have yet to make either of their mandatory stops. They will need to do that before this race is over. Lewis Morgan continuing on through Forest Elbow. No mistakes from him so far. Vermeulen has closed down the gap a little bit on him, but Morgan's got so much time in hand. He's firm favourite to win this race. Track temperature 36 degrees, air temperature 34. There's Morgan coming round to complete another lap. It's 24th. Moment it's Morgan, Vermeulen, Law, Busov, Milden. Milden on fire today. Still behind Busov in the battle for 4th place. I think he made contact with Van der Waal as Van der Waal was recovering, which won't have done the car too good. He's got another stop to make now, so he may use that opportunity to repair, but he may not decide to do that, so it'll take more time, and Busov makes a mistake, and Milden sees an open door, and he's got through on the Croatian and up into 4th place. Great overtake from Milden. He pushed him very, very hard into a mistake, and it's paid off for him, so he's through. Okay, there's Mihalka coming into the pits in the Lamborghini. Van der Waal's made it back into the pits. He's done his last mandatory stop now. Vermeulen is continuing on in P1. I want to see what the weather update is going to be. Rain is expected to get lighter within the next few minutes. So Morgan seems yet to win in Taco Tuesday. This category anyway. Vermeulen going for a hat-trick of wins. Milden, after overtaking Busov, is less than 14 seconds behind Law. Continuing on though. Coming into the pits in the McLaren. Right-hander of Quarry, continuing to make his way through back markers. Doesn't seem to be causing too many problems for him so far. Sharp coming in for his first of 2 stops now. Minutes remaining in this race. Fraglor comes in for his second stop. Feels the time is right. He may even take a gamble and go onto a set of dry tyres. Busov running in 5th. He's also come in for his final fuel and tyres. He's doing so. Battle raging between Aragoneses and Crosby for P11. Both have done their last stops, so they'll be going to the end presumably. Down the hill they come towards Forest Elbow. Conor Byers-Colt also coming in for his last stop. Now they exit Forest Elbow, and there is Crosby. for the slipstream. It's not really within range to have a go, I don't think. And Law is rejoined behind Mackinnon. Where is Mackinnon? He's well and truly up the road. Law's got a back marker which he'll want to dispose of very quickly. I don't think that's a back marker actually, that's to Jeffrey Godefroy, he's behind. So he'll need to pass him on circuit. I don't know when Godefroy is going to be coming in, so he needs to get on with it, does Craig. If he's going to get back into the action. So Vermeulen continuing on, and in fact he's coming in for his final stop now. I'll stay with him actually to see how long this pit stop does actually take. Make sure you don't break the pit lane speed limit there, Jared. He's coming into his box. How long will this stop take, I wonder? So I've clocked it at 33 minutes and 1 second, so keep that in mind. Ben Milden's also coming in for his final stop. I would say if Vermeulen's got any chance of winning this race, he'll need to go onto a set of dry tyres. It's 30 seconds this pit stop, I think. Jerry Mackinnon also coming in. His final stop. 33 seconds there for Jared's stop. So let's in the pits now, need some clean air. It's all down to Alex Morgan, who's yet to make a pit stop at all. Until now. How quickly will this pit stop be? It's going to be as quick as, well, it's going to be quicker than what Jared Vermeulen's pit stop was. 32 seconds, we said. So 31:37 I've clocked that at. So we'll see if he does get back out. I would probably say around about 20 seconds this pit stop's going to be. 20 seconds now. So for 30 seconds. In fact, it's longer than Jared Vermeulen's pit stop, thinking of it, for Morgan. It's just under 40 seconds. How soon will he make his second stop, I wonder? Second place ahead of Law after the pit stops that both of them have made. Godefroy is running in 4th place on track, as we saw someone make their way into the pit lane. Pick up on who that was. It was Kyle Revel, who's already made 2 pit stops. He's having to come back in again, so it looks like he's been in the war somewhere. Whereas Luke Prentice is running in 13th. Quite some way behind Vorkle, thinking of it. Godefroy comes in for his stop. Booth comes in for his stop. Prentice carries on for now. It looks like it's going to end up being Morgan, Vermeulen, Law, Milden and Busov in the top 5 by the end of this race. With just under half an hour remaining in this Taco Tuesday round in Mount Panorama in the Formula Racing League. If you haven't already done so, do make sure you like and subscribe. reached over 1,100 subscribers. Managed to reach 1,000 at the beginning of this year. It'd be great to continue that run. Morgan continuing on his way. Race. So we've got one more pit stop to do. And the gap between him and Vermeulen, we don't know for certain because in terms of where they are on the timing pages, Morgan's just gone through sector 1, Vermeulen has only just gone through start-finish line. I can tell you that Craig Lott has set a new fastest lap of the race. That must mean the track conditions are improving. The rain is still coming down, but it won't be coming down for too much longer. We should expect dry tyres to be fitted on some of the cars by now. Now, Morgan is expected to remain in the race lead after he does his last stop, which could be in around 10 minutes time. Coming through. It's coming round past the pit lane once more. Is less than 6 seconds behind Vermeulen as they come towards the Comrod Straight, through the Comrod Straight. Milden's another 22 seconds back, so it looks like 4th position is the best he's going to be achieving, but it's a fine effort from where he started on the grid. Lee Princess, after starting from the pit lane, is in 13th. He's dropping back from Vermeulen in the last sector. Milden further back. He's got a boost off the company. He's only 4 seconds behind him. Jack Prentice, we expect him to be pitting again before this race is over. He needs to anyway. Mauro Senio, after the shunt he had earlier, is in 20th position. Dimon Ivanov has yet to make any pit stops at all. And Sergei Kuchenkin is the last of those still running in 25th, behind Morgan Grace. Fog officer's still got one more mandatory stop he needs to do. In fact, Ivanov comes in for his first of 2 stops. We should expect this to be a rather quick one. In fact, we'll see how quickly it takes him to do this stop, since that we haven't got a lot going on circuit as we speak. So it's 24:35 I'll clock that up. Probably before the 24-minute mark when Ivanov exits his box. I would expect him maybe to be on dry tyres. He's way down the field, so he may as well give it a go. We're at the 24-minute mark. Spent around about 40 seconds in the box now, just over that. He leaves his box now. Godefroy is ahead of Byers into 9th position. W. Crosby is further ahead of him. This is a three-way battle for what will be 7th place later on. Morgan continuing to lead, 38 seconds clear of Vermeulen. That should be more than enough when he comes in for his final stop, and it'll be to get onto some dry tyres. And Morgan has the fastest up of the race right now. He's pushing really hard at the moment, maybe a little bit too hard through the chase. Towards the last corner of Murray's. That's lap 31 done. And someone's had an off. Is that the 433 who's been in the wars again? That's Damien van der Waal. And someone else has been in there. That looks like Adam Sharp. It's coming together with him. And he'll make his way back into the pit lane. Van der Waal. Did he get hit there by Ben Milden who was coming through? I think Milden's got some damage to his car. Damien van der Waal's had a really torrid day today. He needs to come back into the pits because there's too much damage on that car. Surely, yeah, the windscreen's damage is all over the place, and it's going to end up becoming a huge obstacle course. The car is terminally damaged. It'll make its way back into the pit lane. Don't try and go back to the pits from there, Damien. And Arsenio has also stopped in the pits as well. And it looks like his race could well be over too. He might have been involved in that accident, you know. Vermeulen's got the fast side of the race now in the Ferrari. Vermeulen continuing on his way, closing down the gap a little bit more. He cannot afford to get involved in someone else's collision. Cars amongst themselves as Jack Prentice comes into the pits. I think those two cars ahead of him may be on different laps to each other. He needs to pick them off one by one. The blue flags are being waved, so they have to obey that. Slipstream there, I think 979. Is it 979? I think Dario defeated. No, that can't be Dario defeated, can it? Unless Alberto Aragoneses, my apologies. Okay, it's Maholka. It might have been. So Vermeulen puts a lap on those two cars. Stuck behind them for a little bit. He's through now. So the driver's out of the race. As we speak, Arsenio has stopped in the pits. Don't know whether Van der Waal will continue on. Very much to Arsenio, his windscreen wipers aren't wiping, so it doesn't look like he's going to be continuing on. Van der Waal is still in the race. Adam Sharp hasn't continued, neither has Morgan Grace. So Kuchinkin will move off a few positions in over the next few laps, I should think. How will he get on through Centre 1? It was 37 seconds the last time we saw. What's the gap now? It's 39, so Morgan's got held up by those back markers, did Jared. And Byers is back ahead of Godefroy now in the battle for 8th. Jack Prentice, after his stop, rejoining 10th ahead of Sedan at Vortal. Morgan is coming up to lap Prentice, but Morgan's still got one more stop to do. Don't know when exactly he'll decide to do it. He's coming in now to do it. Alex is in. His final stop. I expect this stop to be less than 30 seconds, probably around 20. Now, Joe Vermeulen is coming towards the chase, but Morgan hasn't stopped in his box yet because it's down at the far end of the pit lane. So he's stopping his box now, 18.09 I'm clocking it from. Vermeulen is heading towards the last corner now. In fact, Morgan has done his stop, he's leaving the pits, and he's still in the lead. Morgan on course for the victory. That took around about 6-7 seconds for him to do that. So if Vermeulen is going to be winning this race, he'll have to pass Morgan on circuit. And that isn't going to be easy to do. Now Busov is closing on Milden in the battle for 4. To do now is Demon Ivanov. Fine now. Through the S's. Gap was 10.7 in the first sector. Has he responded to that? Or has Morgan got his tyres up to temperature during the course of this lap? We'll find out what the gap will be. I would say it's less than 10. Could well be wrong. The gap is now, well, it's 10.9, so it's around about the same as what it was earlier on the lap, thinking of it. Morgan's got some back markers which he'll need to negotiate. We should have a rather clean run to the checkered flag now. That spin that Vermeulen had cost him dear. 11 seconds. Morgan's coming, he's pulling out all the stops here. So the headlights are still on the car. Let's check what time it actually is in terms of the race at the moment. It's 2:21 PM. It does go twice the speed as the time compared to what it is in real life. Going to reach darkness before this race is over, no chance of that. Got to fight behind Byers. Towards the king. The chase. Byers got to fight. It's going to go onto the checkered flag, I think. Morgan is now stuck behind Kyle Gravel by the looks of it. Gravel, who's running in 17th after starting the race from the pit lane. What is the gap between Morgan and Vermeulen in Sector 2. I think it's running about the same as what it is in Sector 1, I should say. It's 10.8 seconds, so hardly any change in the gap. So 14 minutes away from the 5th place finish. Does anything happen to Milton up ahead? Hasn't rejoined the race, so Kuchinkin should go in front of him into 21st. He's the last of the runners at the moment. So we're on the 29, it looks like we're going to have 21 finishes. So we'll see any more drivers in the wars. Oh, is ahead of Liz Morgan. The blue flags, but it's part of the course. It's where it gets tricky for leaders to lap in back markers, but Morgan is through on this one, no problem. Here's Vermeulen pushing as hard as he can. And so we've got 6 laps to go at the end of this lap. Last corner now to start lap 37. Vermeulen know that he isn't going to win every race, but it's about how many points you get at the end of the season. Bearing in mind, each of the drivers will drop their worst scores at the end of the season. Is still firm favourite to take this championship. He was second in Indianapolis, 5th in Kyalami. He's got the gap down a little bit, 10.5 seconds it is now. To take at the very minimum a couple of seconds out of Morgan's lead each lap, but I doubt that's going to happen. Plus, the back markers which Morgan has got through, Vermeulen will need to get past as well. Godefroy's got through on Byers into 8th position now. They were side by side going into, well, they were on the pit straight side by side, and Godefroy's got through on Byers into 8th place, and now they're chasing Dominic Crosby for P7. 10 minutes to go. Morgan crossing over the line to begin lap number 38. Gap between Morgan and Vermeulen. Still the same. Law will have to contend with 3rd. Milden and Busov are way too far back. And actually Makinen's got in on Busov actually. He's close right up behind the Croatian. Godefroy will fancy his chances with Crosby as well. Godefroy taking a wider line for his elbow. Come on straight. Will Crosby go defensively and running into the chase? Might have to, you know, because it looks like Godefroy is within range to attack. Godefroy looking for a move on Crosby. Too far back to do it from there. No way was Godefroy going to pull that one off. And that's allowed Byers to close back in again. I should have waited there. That was too ambitious of a manoeuvre. Now he's having to go from attack mode to defend mode. Morgan's got through on the back markers now. Don't think he's going to be negotiating any more back markers before this race is over. He's going to need to get through on those back markers, of which Morgan's just lapped. We see Vorkel fighting out with Nathan Booth for P11. Booth has just got through on Vorkel. So it's a good move there from Booth. Vorkel, a better time of it today. Still got some work to do if he's going to have any chance of salvaging anything from this season. Morgan now 4 laps away from his first win of the campaign. Vermeulen in second place, 10.1 seconds off. He's got the fastest lap to his credit. A healthy lead in the championship. We're going back to the battle for 5th place between Busov and Mäkinen. Busov running wide through Forest Elbow, and Mäkinen will be into the slipstream of the Ferrari ahead. It'll be closer this time to how Godefroy was with Crosby on the previous lap. More confidence at the moment than Busov. Busov just needs to be going. He doesn't move more than once on the straight. And wisely sitting back there, but he has to slam on the brakes to stop the car from spinning. And he's lost time. And Crosby and Godefroy going to combat again. What does Godefroy decide to do? So early there, and all this battling is going to allow Byers to close in also. Godefroy up the inside of Crosby as they go towards Hell's Corner, and Godefroy is through. Excellent overtake from the Belgian. Crosby left the door open there. Godefroy was bound to make that overtake soon enough. What about Conor Byers? Is he going to go for it as well? Through. Worry. Went through just yet. Towards Hill once more. Morgan and Vermeulen. Looking at behind Busov. Run straight with 5 minutes to go. And go for it. On this occasion, it needs to be early on the brakes this time. The longer the lead you've got on the brakes, the more that the rear brakes will lock. That's what causes the cars to spin round. But thankfully, Matthew got the car so down in time. Looks for a move into Murray's corner. Busov just about saw it in the end. That was very, very close to contact between the pair of them. Things are very much heating up in the closing stages of this race. Busov ahead of Mäkinen. Mäkinen back for more. On the mountain straight, they are heading through. Way through just yet for Mäkinen. Bias is still behind Crosby in the battle for 8th. Look at 15th behind Luke Prentice, who's had a day to forget in all honesty. He still gets some points out of this. Just yet for Mahilka, but he's running out of time to make the move. Go back to the battle for 5th place. Busov and Mäkinen. Isn't too far up the road. It's just taking it easy on fuel or whatever, but wait. Busov closing in. Particularly Mäkinen, who is alive in the closing laps of this. Vanov has come in for his final mandatory stop, which he's had to do. It should be a very, very quick stop, which he does. He should rejoin in the battle because of 19th. Through the last corner, but still no way through. Morgan has now got the fastest up of the race. That's a championship point coming his way. England no longer has it. As we speak. Will Mäkinen go for it on Busov? Probably not into Quarry, given it is a really fast right-hander. There's Morgan. Vermeulen has got through the back markers now, and he can go chasing after Morgan, but he's only going to have one more lap to do. As Morgan about to start the final lap of the race of this 90-minute special in Mount Panorama, Bathurst, New South Wales, Australia. There is Busov in 5th. Both of them closing on Milden still at the moment. Milden's really struggled, to be honest with you. In fact, he's losing all sorts of time. And he's allowed Busov and Mäkinen to really close right up his gearbox now. This is far from over, this battle for 4th. Now we're going to see Mäkinen make a late surge here. The last minute. Mäkinen's nowhere near close enough to attack. Bias, who's running in 9th position behind Crosby. Is he able to get a good exit out of here to close in? Don't think so. Godfrey is not too far up the road from them, and he's stuck behind traffic as far as we know. That is Kamil Makowski, who's going to finish in 16th position as it stands. Alex Morgan clips the wall through the S's. Won't want to make any more mistakes from here on in. He's driven a perfect race all the way. No such problems. And he's going to call himself a Taco Tuesday race winner for the first time in the pro category. Alex Morgan, the undisputed king of Mount Panorama, has got 2 more corners to get through. Just Murray's corner to get through now, and he's going to celebrate a convincing victory. Alex Morgan in the 501 McLaren takes the checker flag to win in Taco Tuesday in the Formula Racing League in Bathurst, Australia. Joe Vermeulen will finish 2nd in the 144 Ferrari. And it's the 226 Ferrari of Craig Law who's going to be on the podium for the first time this campaign in 3rd position. We want to go to the battle for 4th place because this is going to go right to the end between Ben Milden, Nico Busov and Juho Mäkinen. I think Milden should be okay from here. Didn't get the best of exits out of Forest Elbow though. Should be okay from here on in, I think. Not quite going side by side. We'll go with Busov actually. He's actually into the slipstream there. Now, are they running low on fuel, I wonder? Are these two? And Mäkinen fancies a go at it on Busov as they head towards the chase. Mäkinen up the inside for a moment. Cannot get through. Busov having to go defensive as they head towards Murray's for the last time. Mäkinen round the outside of Busov as they go through the last turn of the racetrack. Mäkinen going for a drag race, but Busov should hold him off for 5th. So Milden 4th, Busov 5th, Mäkinen in 6th place. Godefroy is 7th. Byers got ahead of Crosby on the last lap, so he will take 8th ahead of the South African. Jack Prentice will be the last driver on the lead lap in 10th position. But there's your race winner. It's Alex Morgan in the 501 McLaren in Mount Panorama, Bathurst, Australia. What a job he has done. Joe Vermeulen 2nd place ahead of Craig Law. It's Ben Milden in 4th. A good drive from him from starting in the midfield. Nico Busov 5th ahead of Juho Mäkinen, Jeffrey Godefroy, Connor Byers, Jack Prentice and Dominic Crosby shown in 10th place, presumably. Nathan Booth 11th ahead of Zdeněk Vorkl. I think Dominic Crosby crashed on the exit of the last turn. That's why he ended up in 10th place behind Jack Prentice. Nathan Booth 11th ahead of Zdeněk Vorkl. Alberto Aragoneses. Luke Prentice in 14th after starting from the pit lane. He would have started 2nd on the grid, but had problems before the race had started, which made him start from the pits. Achilles Hulker in 15th ahead of Kamil Mikowski, Karl Revel, Dario Devita, Demon Ivanov in 19th ahead of Farklov Pistol, and Sergei Krachinkin, the last of the finishes, in 21st. Damien van der Waal, Mauro Arsenio, Adam Sharp, Morgan Grace, Ian Simcox, Peter Van Lyshout, Ed Sterling and Sean Cole did not finish. So 21 out of the 29 drivers that started made it to the end. Alex Morgan got the point for the fastest lap. In terms of the championship, if you were to apply all of the scores so far, there's no doubt that Alex Morgan will be up to 2nd place in the championship standings. He picked up a 5th place finish in Kyalami, 2nd in Indianapolis, and now 1st and fastest lap here in Mount Panorama. 32 points in Kyalami, 38 in Indianapolis, that makes it 70, and 41, that makes it 111. Vermeulen, by finishing in 2nd place, is now on 120 points, so the gap between those two is 9 points. The next round of the championship will be at Silverstone in a week's time. We return to the conventional format of 15 minutes qualifying and a 60-minute race with a mandatory pit stop included. Thank you very much for watching us. Do make sure you like and subscribe, and feel free to check out all of the championships that the Formula Racing League has to offer. And thank you for your company again. I'll end it there. Thank you for watching, and we'll do it all over again in 7 days' time. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.